He came in quietly, shoulders slumped, eyes tired, voice barely above a whisper. "Doc," he said, avoiding eye contact, "is it normal for it to just stop working?" He wasn't talking about his heart or his joints. He was talking about his manhood, about the way things used to work. Effortlessly, morning wood, desire, confidence, gone like someone had flipped a switch. This man was 68, married, retired, once the life of the party, now silent in the bedroom, and even more silent about it in conversation. He thought it was just age, that this was some unspoken sentence all men over 60 were meant to serve. But here's the twist. What we found in his blood work and diet wasn't just surprising, it was liberating, because it turns out it wasn't just age. It was what his body had stopped getting and what he could start restoring again. Naturally, so what was missing? Let's start with something simple, something powerful, something that's probably sitting in your kitchen right now: nuts. But not just any nuts, these four. Let me explain. Let's talk man to man for a moment. I've been a penis surgeon for over 30 years, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's this: you are not broken. You're just missing the right support, erections. They're not just about desire or testosterone. They're circulation events, plain and simple. If blood can't flow down there, nothing happens, or it doesn't last. Most men over 60 don't realize this. They blame themselves, or worse, they suffer in silence, thinking pills are the only answer. But what if I told you there are natural ways to restore blood flow right from your kitchen? No needles, no surgery, no shame. I had one man 72 years old who came in thinking his best days were over. After just a few small changes in his diet and daily habits, he was calling me 2 months later with a laugh in his voice and a new light in his eyes. "Doc, I feel alive again." That's the kind of transformation I want for you. So let's start simple. Let me show you the foods, the nuts, specifically, that can open up those vessels and bring life back where you need it most. Here's something most men over 60 were never told, not by their doctor, not by the media, not even by their buddies. You haven't lost your function. You've lost your flow. Let me explain. Your erections, morning or otherwise, are driven by blood flow through tiny vessels. But by the time you hit your 60s, you've likely lost 30–50% of that circulation down there. Not because of age, but because of inflammation, low nitric oxide, and decades of poor dietary habits that stiffen and clog the blood vessels. Think about it: years of processed foods, sugary drinks, too little movement. It all builds up like rust in your pipes. And here's the real kicker. Most of this decline happens silently. No pain, no warnings. Just weaker signals, until one day things stop working and you're left wondering, what happened to me? But don't worry, this isn't the end of the story, it's the beginning, because you can clean those pipes. Naturally, let's start with the first of 4 powerful foods that help get things flowing again: walnut. Let me introduce you to what I call nature's little blood vessel opener, the walnut. I had a patient once, 65 years old, who used to be a cyclist. Great legs, decent energy, but struggling in the bedroom. He couldn't understand why. When we checked his nitric oxide levels, the molecule that opens blood vessels, they were rock bottom. So I told him, start with walnuts. Here's why. Walnuts are packed with L-arginine, which your body uses to make nitric oxide, the very signal your vessels need to relax and send blood where it's needed. They also have powerful omega-3 fatty acids, which calm inflammation and reduce artery stiffness. Start with 7–10 walnuts a day, ideally soaked overnight to make them easier to digest. After just a few weeks, that same man came back with a grin and said, "Doc, it's like someone opened a valve down there. No meds, no tricks, just nuts, and walnut is only the beginning. Let me show you the second, and this one's a quiet giant in hormone support. If I could hand every man over 60 just one nut to restore his hormones, it would be this one, Brazil nuts. They look ordinary, but don't be fooled. These are powerful hormone activators, packed with selenium, a mineral most men are silently deficient in. Let me tell you about Joe 70, divorced, still dating, but felt like something was missing. He had low drive, foggy thinking, and couldn't maintain that spark anymore. One small blood test later, he was severely low in selenium. I said, Joe, just 2 Brazil nuts a day. That's all. Within a month, his energy came back. His mood improved. His confidence returned.
What if
Why?
something as
Because
ordinary as
selenium
baking
helps produce
soda,
testosterone,
the same white powder you
improves
use to
sperm
freshen your
quality,
fridge,
and
could
boosts
quietly
overall
support your strength,
circulatory energy?
stamina, and
It's like
confidence
giving
in
your
the
body
bedroom?
the green light to start working again.
So
So grab a couple of Brazil nuts a day, just 2. Too many can actually overload you, so don't go overboard. Now, if you want proof that food can improve
What if
performance
something as
not just in
ordinary as
theory but in
baking
real
soda,
men, wait until you hear what pistachios can do.